Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Today's video is 20 songs that I've been really obsessed with. We'll get into that in a minute. But first of all, I want to talk about another parcel that just arrived yesterday, another gift from a viewer. And this is Jeff from Coleco Silver. I'm not subscribed. Shame on me. I am subscribed on Canadian Studmuffin channel. But he hasn't released a video in about a year due to some health struggles. So I just read in one of the comments when he was replying to a viewer that he is planning on doing a video soon. So that's good to hear, Jeff, and sending positive thoughts your way. So anyway, Jeff wrote to me a couple of weeks ago or less, and he had noticed, I guess when he was looking at my Grand Funk discography review, and I had mentioned that I didn't have the one live, and he had it in his collection, and he said he never really played it, even though he is a fan of Grand Funk. But anyway, please check out his channel. He does a lot of Bob Dylan videos. Thank you. And yeah, there's so many great people on YouTube. So here it is. I haven't taken it out of the parcel yet. Here it is. Yeah, I've never heard this. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much, Jeff. This is the real Grand Funk Raven. It broke. I'm not happy, Jeff. Yeah, these are always a pain. These double CDs. I'll fix it up. And this came out in 1997. Comes with a nice booklet. Words to read. Pictures. More words to read. There they are. All right, thank you again, Jeff. Enough of him now. Let's get back to me. So once again, I've made a Spotify playlist. I'll have a link in the pinned comment below, and hope some of you do check it out. So yeah, I was thinking the other day, I forget which song it was here, but it was like stuck in my brain. And I'm sure, if you're a big music fan like I am, you kind of get the same problem once in a while. And so I thought that would be interesting for a video. Just, I have thousands of favorite songs, right? Songs I absolutely love. But I wanted to kind of focus on ones that really get stuck in my brain once I've heard them, and some of them are more recent, and some have been my favorite since the 60s. And they're in no particular order or anything. I'm not ranking them. And I'll just quickly go through them here. So my favorite Rolling Stones song has always been 2000 Light Years from Home, from their album. Here we go again. Their Satanic Majesty's Request. I did it because I have problems sometimes pronouncing that one word. Thank you. So proud of myself. I didn't even practice. Okay, so yeah. And I also made the playlist for the few of you out there that want to listen to the whole playlist. Just, the way it kind of flows, hopefully, is cool. Next up, a perfect song for Halloween, Morning Glory by Ween. The lyrics, I don't know, it's kind of like their version of Revolution 9. It's pretty freaky and definitely not for everybody. Uh, but there is a kind of a story to it. It's, like I said, kind of creepy and scary, with just awesome effects and everything. I don't know. It might be my favorite Ween song. And then Hidden Sun by Bare Naked Ladies. I'm not a big, I do respect them and everything, but I've never been a big fan of Bare Naked Ladies, the band. But Hidden Sun, which was a hidden track on their Maroon album. Get to the lyrics here. And this was written by their keyboardist, and he does the vocals. And I believe he wrote this when he was going through some health issues with cancer. And it's just, there's one line in here that always really gets to me. A hidden sun that burns and burns never does any harm to anyone, right? And, at the end of the day, you don't want to do any harm to anyone, even your enemies. Well, except maybe one or two. But yeah, and that was also around the time of my first wife Nancy's passing. She was 40 years old when she passed away in 2004. And so I kind of connected to that time period. So, and then, everything here isn't scary or depressing. Eleanor, I just think, is one of the great songs from the 60s by the Turtles. Of course, Happy Together is great too, but it's Eleanor. That's my favorite song by the Turtles. And that is from their album Battle of the Bands, which I need to get at some point. Another great 60s song I've talked about before, Rice is Nice. It's, the lyrics are very 60s. I want to find somebody to care. I want to catch some rice in my hair. I need love and I want you. I do. I want to spend my life loving you. Rice is nice. That's what they say. And I love, I love unique singers that don't sound like anybody else. And so the vocalist on that song, I really love. Some Canadian content. My favorite song by the great Canadian band, The Tragically Hip, Ahead by a Century. And that was, the very last song that they performed together because their lead singer, Gord Downie, had brain cancer and sadly passed away a few years back. But they did one final show in their hometown of Kingston, Ontario, and it is online if you want to check it out. It's very emotional. How about some hard rock? Whole Lotta Rosie. That was the very first AC/DC album I bought, Let There Be Rock, and that is my favorite all-time AC/DC song. Now, the band. So Richard Manuel and Van Morrison, they duet on this song. It's from one of my favorite band albums, Cahoots. And just and I guess when they recorded the vocals, they had both had a little too much to drink, which kind of adds to the vocals because they're just very, you just have to hear the song. So I hope you check it out. It's hard to describe, but it sounds like they're just kind of feeding off of each other and having a laugh too, which might be because of the alcohol, but just great vocals by both singers. The Kinks' Autumn Almanac. I had in the early 70s the black double album with all, a mixture of all of their hits plus some deep cuts. And I'm pretty sure it was that song that really got me to love the Kinks. I especially love, yeah, when Ray sings, because it's so British, his vocals and everything. It's just such a British song. I like my football on a Saturday, roast beef on Sundays, all right. I go to Blackpool for my holidays, sit in the open sunlight. Yeah. So that got me hooked on the Kinks. Next up, I love Captain Beefheart. This is probably my all-time favorite Captain Beefheart song. You Know You're a Man. Uh, just his vocals. Well, of course the music too, but his vocals on this, I just love the power of his vocals. And in case you don't know, I'm doing this series with Grant's Rock Warehouse, and he just posted yesterday our review of The Spotlight Kid and Mirror Man. And we're doing all of Captain Beefheart's albums in a series of 2 albums. So please check that out. And if I remember, I'll have a link for it in the pinned comment below. Yeah, uh, as I've said many times, I was a huge fan of U2 since about 1984 up until about 2004 or so. And The Unforgettable Fire is once again one of my all-time favorite songs. Yeah, and just Bono's vocals, especially when it gets to this line, stay this time, stay tonight in a lie. He uses his falsetto in it, and it's just, I love it. Yeah, if anybody does listen to this whole set list or playlist, let me, come back to this channel and let me know which of the songs, hopefully I turn you on to some of these artists, right? That's what I love doing about talking about music. Sick Again, as much as I love, Kashmir, How Many More Times, Stairway to Heaven even, I think at the end of the day, Sick Again could possibly be my all-time favorite Led Zeppelin song. I think it's very underrated. And just, the power of the music and Robert Plant's vocals and Physical Graffiti is my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Next up, the only thing against this song, She's as Beautiful as a Foot, is it's not very long. Well, yeah, about 3 minutes. And it really needs to be connected to the song before it called Screams, because it's so cool the way it goes into She's as Beautiful as a Foot. But no matter what, it's one of my all-time favorite Blue Oyster Cult songs. And I also love Buck Dharma's very subtle guitar work in it. Like, he's just, I feel, one of the most underrated guitarists in rock music. And I just love that little guitar solo in the song. Brothers in Arms. I've never been a big Dire Straits fan, not that I don't like them, but I just prefer many, many other bands. But the title song from the album Brothers in Arms, I just think is gorgeous. And I love Mark's guitar work on the song. And I also love his work on Bob Dylan's Series of Dreams album, which is my favorite Bob Dylan album. Gene Clark. I could have chosen almost any song from his album, No Other, but I decided on Strength of Strings. Once again, his vocals, just the emotion in his voice when he's singing. So, great song if you haven't heard it before. Now, I guess I've been mispronouncing this word because I checked. I always call it Celeste when it's Celeste, I believe. And I've just become a big, big fan of Donovan in the last few months. And it is, as much as I love so many other Donovan songs, I think it's always going to be my favorite Donovan song. Not that I've heard everything by him yet. And I would say it's one of my top 10 songs of all time. I just love the sitar in it, the violin, Donovan's vocals, the way it kind of ends. Just such a unique song, and it's crazy that it's from 1966. Look, Jeff, it's Grand Funk Railroad. Have you ever heard of them? Yeah, my all-time favorite live album, Grand Funk Live album, and the final song, and it was just on side 4 of the vinyl, just one song, under 12 minutes long though. Uh, Into the Sun. I just I just love the energy from the crowd and of course the energy of the band. And it's once again just one of my all-time favorite live tracks. And I could have chosen more than 20 songs for this. Right now I'm thinking of Genesis The Knife, the live version on Genesis Live. Another one that I really love a lot. And so the last 3 songs, for those that want to take their time listening to the playlist, are pretty long songs, 17 minutes, 20 minutes, and 15 minutes. Sister Ray is probably one of the heaviest songs I've ever heard. The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. It was just too chaotic, and but I have played it so much in the last few years, and all of these songs, when I do listen to them, I don't go right to them. I'm an album person, so I'll listen to the whole album to get to my favorite song. And Sister Ray is definitely my favorite Velvet Underground song. All right, and Can, from their debut album Monster Movie, the final song, which is all of side 2, You Do Right. It's so hard to describe, but it goes into this jam. I have favorite sections of it, especially in the second half when it gets quieter, and just the groove of the song. Malcolm Mooney, the lead vocalist, he's not the greatest singer. So you might be a little put off by his vocals at first, but just some singers, it's like you're connected to their personality, not that they have a great voice. And Malcolm Mooney is definitely one of those singers. And then to end the playlist, Awaken, probably my favorite song by Yes, and It Always Gets to Me. I don't think you can see it here but I'll just read it here. When John Anderson sings, like the time I ran away, turned around, and you were standing close to me. And he sings that twice. And that just always gets to me because, in life, you always want somebody there for you. And so, John Anderson always makes me cry. Just like Chad Kroeger from Nickelback. And that is it. That is my 20 songs I am addicted to. I hope some of you out there do check them out and then come back and leave a comment about them. And thank you once more, Jeff, for this awesome, well, I think it's awesome. I haven't heard it. Grand Funk Railroad Bosnia live.